Want to switch? Okay. Honestly, it's okay. I'm just gonna sit on your jacket.
Hey, this is a talk with Christee Palace, a songwriter, musician, and artist who is up and coming and is making a move to Toronto. We talk about insecurity, caring what other people think, not caring what other people think, and this is a moment where her father won a competition writing a song for the International Children's Games, and she was asked to sing it, and she said no at first, but it was a big moment for her. Enjoy. You were still shy at that point.
Yes. My first instinct was to, like, you know, say no, and I was gonna be like...
And how did that come up? Like, what was there a phone call?
So my dad, of course, asked me, but even then, at that point, he knew that doing stuff like that scared me. Like, I would still perform and stuff, but, you know, I didn't like it. I can't really explain what it was inside of me, but something said, like, you need to do this, and just I kind of like shut off my internal dialogue. And it's so funny looking back now, because I'm at a place now where I actually don't care. Cool. Like, I actually don't care what people think. At that moment, I said to myself, you know what, like, I'm just gonna do it. And the direct audience that was there was about, I think, 8,000 to 10,000 people. And it was televised in all the countries of all the kids that were there. It was a big deal, and it was the biggest thing I had ever done. And even to date, still the biggest thing I've ever done. When I was up there, I just had a feeling that I don't get doing anything else, you know? And when you truly love something, you know it, like, you feel it, you know? And I had never experienced that ever in my life. So when I experienced it, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to feel like this all the time. I cried to my dad, and I had a conversation with him shortly after that, and I told him, I said, I want to do this. I want to be a singer. I want to write my songs. And I had been doing it all along anyways, but now at that moment, I decided I was serious about it.
I feel like something just happened based on your social media, which I actually wanted to interview before I saw that. I was like, whoa, she's like Christee Palace.
Yeah.
So what is that? What happened?
Well, here's what happened, Dan. I'll tell you. My last name is just not...
Yes.
It's just not. Palazzolo, trying to get people to say it or spell it. Google it, anything. Or they can't even spell my first name. Most people, they think it's like a short form for Christina or Christine. And then there's 5 million different ways to spell Christee. So it's just... The cool thing is, my last name, Palazzolo, means palace in English. So that's where that came from.
Cool.
So I still feel authentic. Yes, you know, I still feel like myself. Looks a little better, looks a little cleaner, and people can spell it and pronounce it.
It feels good.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide to move to Toronto?
I always come back to that feeling, like, when you know something's right and you just have to do it. I was kind of, you know, upset with how things were here. When you're in Windsor, after a while, things sort of stand still, and unless you start branching out to other cities and doing other things, it's hard to feel like, you know, you're progressing. I had been commuting back and forth anyways to Toronto, so I finally just said, I know you know what that's like. I just finally said to myself, I'm like, you know what, like, I'm gonna move there. Like, why the hell move? So I'm there. I'm like immersed in art, and I'm immersed in it, and I can meet people, and, you know, I felt it, that I needed to do it.
What is your kind of trajectory, like, career-wise? What are the things that you need to do, and what are you looking at doing?
So, I mean, this is the thing. Because there's so many independent artists now, you can do everything yourself. You don't actually need a label. It's helpful to have a label, of course, because they have the money. As long as I can make a living doing what I love to do, I'm happy. Whether that means doing it independently and, like, trying to make things happen for myself, like, which I've been doing that anyways, and so far I've been pretty successful. Now that I've kind of met the right people, I'm getting in touch with other people that, you know, are kind of helping me. If, you know, the opportunity presents itself where a label is interested, and I just have to, you know, make sure that it's the right fit for you. So it just really depends on the label and what they're willing to offer you.
I have another set of questions that are very much based around my own insecurities about pursuing a career in the arts.
Absolutely.
Do you ever think about, like, where this is going to go, or how things are going to turn out, or what level you'll get to, or are you just focused on staying on your own path?
Well, you know, of course, it's especially having a career in the arts, you have to think about your future a little bit. That being said, I think it's super important to stay focused and stay in the moment, and, you know, if this is what you love to do, like, go for it and do it 100%. I think it's just important to not limit yourself. Like, why not try and do what you truly love to do? If I can honestly say that I've done everything in my power to do what I love to do, and it doesn't work out, then at least I know. What I don't want is to regret that decision, is to look back on my life and say, I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have you know, gone with my gut. I don't want to say I wish. For me right now, the most important thing is to just go after this as much as I can and do whatever I can do. And if it doesn't work out, I know that I'm going to do something to do with this, you know?
Do you face any form of comparison, whether that's to other people in your industry or career, or just to other kind of peers or people that you went to high school with, and like seeing where they are and just being like, I could have...
Absolutely. No, honestly, like? Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest things I struggle with.
My siblings, all three of them, you know, one of them is in engineering, one of them's in biochem, my sister's a teacher. Sometimes I compare myself to them, and I think they're set, like, you know, they're set. Like, they, just because I don't want to be a teacher and I don't want to be in engineering or biochem, like, that doesn't make me any less successful, you know? Like, for me, you know, it's the arts, but I love it. So, you know, it crosses my mind every once in a while, you know, and even other people that are in the industry that are doing things like me, that are more successful, that are like doing what I want to be doing, you know, that's hard as an up and coming artist to see that and, you know, to say to yourself, oh, like, I want that so bad. But again, a lot of those people, they work really hard to get to where they want to be. And I think for me, as long as I'm working hard and I'm doing everything that I can do, it always comes back to that. I'm happy. Like, I'm doing everything that I can possibly do. Right now, I can tell, like, you're fully in this. Yes. As you're from what I can see in both what you're saying, like, you're in this, you want to do everything you can. Was there a stage when you were kind of, like, starting to dip your toe into it? And was there a moment when you dove in? And was that at the children's game, or was there another moment? I think once I released my EP, I think that validated it for me a little bit too, because they were all my songs. I wrote them all myself, and it was the first time that I was like in the studio, like recording at like a big studio, and I loved every step of the process, like everything about it. Not even just performing and singing and writing, but like actually recording and like being in there and working with like industry professionals that are so great. I learned so much throughout that whole process, and then, you know, finally having my EP release party and like sharing those new songs with everybody and like selling my own CDs, like, that for me, I was like, oh my God, like, yes. So selling your own songs and like people actually listening to them and messaging me saying, I love this song and it means something to me, and knowing that I'm actually like touching people, that to me is huge. Like, that, yeah. I think that moment for me, I was like, yes, I want to write and I want to record and I want to do this. Have you read Meditations? Yeah, okay. Meditations. Oh my gosh, Tell me about that. I love it. There's just like little snippets every day of like just life lessons, especially about staying present and staying in the moment and not like spinning out and thinking about the future. Because when you do that, you just like, you spin out. You do. Like, you start thinking about the future and you freak out and then you get all like stressed out. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, like, why do that? So yeah, I love that book so much. Got it. How do you think about money and your career? Money, money, money. Yeah. Yes, I'm pursuing my dreams. I'm doing everything that I can possibly do. However, I'm being smart about it, and I have another job too, and I'm making sure that I'm constantly gigging, and I'm doing everything that I can do to fuel what I want to do. I think it's important to know that you should do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like teaching too, but that is to fuel what I actually want to do. Got it. And then I also saw you have a fitness brand? Fitness. I'm an online fitness and wellness coach. So I'm not an actual personal trainer. Oh, believe me, I've had so many people attack me for that. What I do is I just set up people with workout programs that work for them. So I figure out what their goals are, and then I kind of suggest certain workout programs to them. Because I'm doing my own workout program, I kind of like promote it, and people can kind of see me going through it and see what it's all about. So it's a separate account. It's a separate account, yeah. I keep them separate, do people kind of cross between? They do. I started like really taking fitness seriously a few years back when I was like performing almost every single weekend, sometimes 3 nights in a row, sometimes 4, it just depended, and I was just gassed half the time. I was so tired and I couldn't keep up. Like, I would run out of air on stage, and it was bad because I'm very physical. I run around and I like hop and I twirl, like I do all this stuff. I just like being an advocate for that, you know, and showing people I'm an artist too. I'm a musician, and I'm back and forth from here to Toronto right now, and I'm still like fitting it in, and there's ways that you can do that. Can you tell me about the first song you ever wrote? Do you remember what that is? Well, like I said, my first good song. Oh no. I wrote a song called I Don't Need No One. I was listening to the Britney Spears CD, like, when I was younger. Like, I remember thinking, like, oh my god, wish I could be Britney Spears. Didn't really make much sense, and what was I going through in grade 3 that I wrote this song?
Can you tell me about the time, when what you've done has touched somebody?
I wrote a song a couple years ago called Alive Today because of how I was feeling about doing music as a career. It was one of those moments of weakness where I was doubting myself, just about how you go through struggles, but at the end of the day, you're okay and we're alive and we're good. So that song for me meant a lot to me for a lot of reasons. And when I recorded it and released it, I was blown away by the amount of people that reached out to me for that song. Someone reached out to me about, her struggles with, wanting to commit suicide and telling me that my song helped her. And I'm speechless. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah. So to have somebody reach out to me about that is just, again, it validates why I'm doing this. Like, I want that for people. For me, like, my biggest problem, and it's not so bad now, but it used to be just, worrying about what other people thought. Like that, and that is crippling. When you start thinking about that, you are not able to do what you want to do because you're so consumed by other people's thoughts. I would say, there's so many people that are so successful, they know more than me, and especially in music, because I never actually took it in school. I was afraid of performing in front of them because I thought, they're gonna look at me trying to play guitar and think I suck, and like that actually stopped me from performing live. In the beginning. Yeah. When I started performing live, like, I was not very good. Like, I could strum chords and I could accompany myself, but I'm like by no means like a guitar player. Like, I can't shred on guitar. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, you have one life. Like, you have one life to do what you want to do, and like, why are you allowing people to cripple you like that? And they did. Like, for a long time, I was afraid of performing. I didn't want to do that in front of anybody, especially people that were in the music industry. Like, I did not want to. I finally said, screw it. Then I just started doing it. And then the more you do it, you gain confidence, and it propels you forward, and then you just go. And now, I'm moving to Toronto, and I'm like doing all this stuff that I would have never thought I could do before. I heard the other day this thing called the competence loop. You believe that you can, and actually you build the skills, it makes you believe in yourself more, and it's just like this spiral, upward spiral. That's exactly right. When I started meeting other musicians, especially the musicians that are in my band now that play with me, I used to look at them and go like, oh my god, they're so good. Like, I never wanted to talk to them or have them see me play, like, never. But you have to kind of work with people that are better than you. You have to get better. To get better, yeah, you have to. So being afraid of them is stupid, because you're just hurting yourself in the end, really. So by kind of throwing yourself in the fire and like working with people that are so much better than you, it's fantastic. It's like it's nerve-wracking in the beginning, but once you do it, you learn so much, and you go, wow.
What do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
Surprised to know. I never actually took music in school. I have people coming to me saying, oh my god, I wish I could have your confidence. I wish I could have that. Like, I've heard people say that, especially on stage too. Like, people will say, like, how are you so confident on stage? Like, how do you... And when people say that to me, I'm like, if you only knew the stuff I went through growing up, and what I actually feel sometimes on the surface, it looks like people got it all going on sometimes, and they don't. Like, it's just the truth.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
It's gonna come back to you not caring what people think. Like, that's the best, because once you start doing that, you just do
you're free.
You're free. I love that. You're free. No matter what, people are going to criticize you and think what they want to think, but at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. It really is.
When was the last time you cried tears of joy?
Oh, I love that. When I decided to move to Toronto and it was happening. I said it was happening, and my parents were like, yep, that's great, and you go and do it, and I realized that it's real and it's happening. Is
when you've been seeing something in your head for a long time, and it finally becomes real.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
And it's like, it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
All my hard work.
Do you have any kind of final thoughts for people who are watching?
Don't give a shit about what people think. Like, just don't.
Okay.
Just do what you want to do. If you love something, go do it. If you get so preoccupied about, you know, the money and like, I can't because of this, I can't because of that, then you won't do it. Be smart about your decisions, but I mean, go for it. If you have a passion, like, go and do it. Otherwise, you're gonna regret it. You will.
Do you have any advice for someone who, if someone is struggling with caring what other people think and they want to get to that place of freedom, what is something that they can do?
So the one thing that I honestly started doing was anytime I recognized that I was spinning out, you have to just stop yourself. Like, and I don't think there's really any other way to do it except deciding that you've had enough of feeling like crap. Redirect your thinking.
Yeah, because we almost forget that we are able to do that.
Yeah, you are. And that's,
and
how crazy is that when you actually realize, like, I'm in full control of my body and my mind.
I heard that quote before, don't believe everything you think.
Yes. But it's true, though. Yeah. My dad actually always said to me whenever I got, you know, I was kind of spinning out a little bit, he would say to me, you know, like, don't look up the mountain, you know? He's like, look down at how far you've come, you know? He's like, so instead of thinking about all the stuff you have to do to get to where you're going and, you know, how difficult it's going to be, instead of doing that, like, just look back and think about all the accomplishments, everything that you've done to get to this point. And be proud. Look down, not up, kind of thing, which is weird. It seems like it should be the opposite.
It's a perspective thing.
It is. It is.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
That's what this is for. Where can people find you online?
So, any of my social media is under Christee Palace now. CHRISTEE Palace. So, all my music and my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this. I'm really excited for your career.
Great. Thank you.
A lot of the things you talked about today I need for myself.
Good.
So this was great.
That's great.
At least just for me. Yeah. I find you inspiring to myself personally, which is I think why you're here.
That makes me so happy. Yeah. Thank you.
And let's stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
cool.
much. Big sweaty hug.
Yes, of course.
We're actually sweating in here.
We are. I'm getting a breeze. Well, you have a sweater on. The breeze is coming in though.
Yeah.
And until next time. Bye. Yes. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. If you had a favorite moment, please leave a little comment and timestamp below. Go to dantatebrown.com if you'd like to sign up for email updates straight into your inbox. And enjoy the next video. Thanks. Do you want to roll this down at all?
Sure, because I'm dying a little bit.
I am a little bit too.
And we're getting air, and I'm sweating, okay? Honestly, I literally have, lip and chin sweat. Okay, I'm going to try to, like,
just us girls.
Oh, it's just us girls.